relationships. Heart to Heart Counseling can help you enjoy freedom from a codependent life and create a better future for yourself and family. Heart to Heart Counseling can also help you achieve a romantic, intimate lifestyle and inner peace. To contact Dr. Robert and Dr. Mitra, go to their programmer page on the KMET AM website. Heart to Heart Counseling is here for you.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Glad to have each and every one of you with us on today's show. We're going to be talking a little bit later on to returning guest, Janine Tornatore, and she's going to be sharing some savings on summer travel, some insider tips to avoid some rising prices, especially for just normal travel. There's a lot of things you got to take into consideration. We got our Mr. Jesse Sanchez right there over there going and leaving us for Florida. Florida is going to be welcoming Jesse Sanchez and all of his great fun over there. Jesse, you ready for your trip?
Good morning. Yes, I am excited. I have my bags packed. I'm ready to rock.
All right. So Jesse, of course, we're going to wish him a very, very safe journey, safe venture over there, doing some fun stuff. But he'll be back, I believe. So you're leaving tonight, and then you'll be back when? Monday?
Yes, I'll be back Monday for sure.
All right. So you're leaving, and then which airport are you flying out of? Ontario?
I am actually flying out of LAX because it's the only airport that has the red eye, I guess.
Oh.
So my flight leaves at midnight.
Oh, midnight. Okay. Well, at least you'll get some rest in between, right? Because you got the 3-hour difference, and then
it's pretty much I'll be landing in like 7 hours or something like that. So
okay. And this is for your ability to be able to attend a wedding, right? Number one. And number two, maybe, catch, I don't know, something fun over there, right? Or is it just about the wedding and then back?
I have one other hidden goal.
Okay. You don't have to tell us.
No, hopefully my girlfriend isn't listening. I want to see a crocodile.
Oh, that's right. Crocodiles. That's right. Okay. It's always good to get one of those things in. All right. So, travel, of course, airfare, rental car, gas prices are on the rise, but travelers should not feel deterred. We're going to talk about what you could do about it in the high demand time of travel. The summer, to think like a contrarian, and then points, miles, and apps. How to strategically use those reward miles and then points and find smart services that will save you money on the road. So Janine is a good returning guest. If you want to follow her on social media, I think you should. She's got her website. It's the outsideinsider.com. You can go check that out. She puts all of her travel tips there as well, and some really good stuff. Some stuff that I normally don't even pay attention to, but I really need to. So if you go check it out, the outsideinsider.com, you'll see a lot of things there like this. You'll see all her cool, fun trips, as well as just fun. It seems like fun. It's always fun for her. So I would love to travel in this way, always being able to do so, and also with her family. How does she do it with her family? That's kind of always a very big thing. She's got a lot of information, of course, featured on a lot of networks as well as ours, and 8 car essentials for your next road trip. How will COVID-19 change vacations, and tips for taking remote work on the road? I like that. That's smart because that's what she does. So we've had her on quite a few occasions talking about special travel. So you can follow her right there, and you'll be able to follow all of her social medias as well. All right. And social media, speaking of which, we got people tuning in there. Appreciate you. Let's see. Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing and onset this glorious, busy, awesome day ahead for today. Glad to have you with us. Okay, so lots of news items, obviously. The question of the day is what's going on in our backyard. Obviously, there are people that are happy. There are people that are aware that there's new variants coming in, popping in every day. We've learned yesterday there's, now going to be beta, gamma, and what else are they going to call them? Which I don't think is the best way to go about it, but that's what you're going to start hearing anyway. But here's a little bit of good news here. Ohio lottery. Speaking of Stephanie Reed, I know she entered this. She's our good listener from Cleveland, Ohio. And Ohio residents were recently vaccinated will want to answer their phone on Vax a Million Days, even if the number isn't familiar. So it's kind of like take every call. You ever get calls that you're like, it's a bad spam call, Jesse, but you're tempted because you're like, maybe it's important or maybe it's not?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do. I don't know if they're creditors or what. So if it's an actual person that ends up calling and I don't know who they are, I'll just answer the phone with a funny voice. You
that's,
hang up right after that.
that's not a bad idea. Well, if you're in Ohio, you may be getting Ohio's Governor Mike DeWine on the other end. Am I saying it right, or is it DeWine? Is it DeWine or DeWine? The Ohio Lottery announced the next winners of the state's Vax a Million vaccination incentive prizes Wednesday on the lottery's Cash Explosion TV show. Jonathan Carlisle of Toledo won the $1 million prize, and Zoe Vincent of Mayfield Village in Cuyahoga County won the college scholarship. More than 3.2 million Ohioans entered their names for a shot at the $1 million, up from the 2.8 million who had registered for last week's drawing. More than 133,000 children entered their names for the scholarship, up from just over 104,000 last week. Wednesday is the day that the last statewide orders meant to slow the spread of the coronavirus expire. The only virus-related restrictions that will remain in place after Wednesday are those involving nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Businesses and schools will be able to require masks and social distancing if they choose to do so. He did continue to urge people to get the vaccine and to wear masks if not vaccinated. Abigail Bugensky was last week's winner of $1 million, learned of her good fortune minutes before her name was drawn when they called as she was driving to her parents' home in suburban Cleveland. The mom of Joseph Castillo, who was the first college school scholarship winner, was leaving work when the governor called and had to sit down. She was so shocked. The names were drawn on using a random number generator to leave time for recipients' eligibility. So that's the good news. So there you go. And I think there's one over here in LA, right? California. So if you haven't entered, make sure that you get all that information. I tweeted it. You can follow me at Aaron M. Sanchez. You can also follow Jesse. Jesse, how can we follow you on all your social media handles since we can't see you anymore, since our camera in the studio said, I don't want to work today?
Yeah, I secretly blame Sean. No, but you could always follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I am Jesse Sanchez.
Got it.
Yeah, follow. I'll follow you.
Follow Jesse at I am, right? I am. I always remember that. I am. But sometimes I want to call you Jesus. I am Jesus. But then I'm like, man, that's what so there you go. All right. You can't see Jesse's face, and this is the hard part. I can imagine him. I can't even see him. I can't see him on Skype. It doesn't work. Let's see. Stephanie Reed says it's Mike D. Wine. E is like da. So, okay. So let's see. Da. Oh, da wine. Wait, E is like da. Kind of like in Spanish, right? A, E. What is it? A. No, how is it? A is a.
E, O, U.
There you go. Ooh. Yeah, there you go. So it's Mike da wine. Like that, right? Does that work? I think that's working. That's how. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Cleveland, Ohio, and she knows how it's supposed to be pronounced. Rosalie Worthis says, happy Friday Eve, beautiful people. Oh, right? It's always fun. Thursday's always the fun stuff. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here. We're going to regroup, get some more information for each and every one of you, and then Janine Tornatore is going to be spending time with us a little bit later on some cool travel tips. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Who is the Atua Man? Can you imagine exploring spiritual consciousness through an exotic action-adventure story? The Atua Man is masterfully illuminated in this self-discovery novel by John Stevenson. Dive into the page-turning epic hero's journey, weaving together high action with spiritual revelation. Join the Atua Man and his colorful cohorts as they travel through the majestic Hawaii, the hidden mysteries of Polynesia, and the intrigue, starting with the mysterious healing that breeds chaos in London. This journey guides us through the trials of living in the material world, arriving into enlightened consciousness. perhaps glimpse into the fabric of creation. How is the Atua man affected by the global healing ministry surrounding him? How does he navigate the complexities of love, forgiveness, life and death, wealth and power? Find out in John Stevenson's TheAtuaman.com, Apple Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Attention homeowners, spending more time around your house means you're putting more stress on major appliances that keep your home running. Like many Americans, a major breakdown could be very costly during these uncertain times. AC unit goes, that's $4,500. Water heater breaks, $1,500. When you own a home, it's always now. That's 800-274 4679.
You're running out of letterhead. What do? Lithopass Printing. You need business cards. Now what? Lithopass Printing. Invitations to a wedding? Lithopass Printing and Banning is the answer. Lithopass Printing can provide banners, signs, and blueprints. Think of Lithopass Printing and Banning for quality graduation, birthday party, and baby shower invitations. Lithopass Printing also provides lamination, faxing, and photo prints. If you need it inked, make it Lithopass Printing. Lithopass Printing and Banning.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, your one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, where we appreciate each and every one of you in social media. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. It's KMET 1490 AM on the Play Store, which is the Google Play Store, of course, and or the Apple iPhone. It's simple. Just download the app, KMET 1490 AM. I want to say a big thank you to Katia Wunderlin, who just sent 100 stars to our broadcast on Facebook. We appreciate you. She's got a 4-week streak going on over there, and that's notifying. She's literally on fire. She has a little fire thing next to her, sent 100 stars. So thank you very much, Katia from Switzerland, for donating and helping us out and giving us a little bit of boost. I will say, as far as a boost goes, and thank you again, I do appreciate it. Do you know what life is like, Jesse, without a vehicle?
Yes, I do. It is incredibly difficult considering I got my car about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly difficult to get around, and it just always feels like a pain just to ask for a ride.
Oh, God, you have no idea. So yesterday I had a very interesting time. You know, so some know, not everybody knows, but for the longest time, you know, I've kind of helped out a family, and recently the daughter actually lost her mom due to coronavirus, but it was her graduation yesterday, which took place at Noli Indian High School. And so you know, how do you get out to, first of all, you know, how to get to Lake Elsinore, which is, you know, pretty far from LA, because we don't have a vehicle, right? Because our vehicle is totaled from the accident that we were in. Or I should say, well, that I was in and the other lady was in, right? So obviously she didn't have insurance. So that means you got to, if you're out there and you're driving without insurance, get insurance. And if you're on the opposite end, make sure you have uninsured motorist vehicle. I cannot stress that enough. That will save you. You never know when an accident's going to happen when they do not have insurance. And that's the second person that's hit me that had no insurance. So I learned from the first time, learned from my example. However, in the days following, right, you know, we're waiting for the vehicle maybe to get salvaged, and then we get maybe like hopefully another grand for it, which isn't much, right, for a Toyota 4Runner 1999. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very painful to have to feel the 4Runner go bye-bye, because that 4Runner like got us through a lot of fun, you know, stuff, right? It's a 4Runner. Who doesn't love a 4Runner? So now I'm like, okay, we're gonna go down to a little car or what? But in the process of it all, I learned some new stuff, which some of you probably already know and some of you do not. The local metro bus is free. You don't even have to worry. So I was actually happy to travel on the bus for free locally to get from my area to Pasadena and back. It took, you know, about an hour and a half to go each way. However, a lot of people cram on those buses. And I remember one guy on the way back on one of the buses didn't get on with a face mask. And boy, like 3 people wanted to just hit him. So I was like, what's going on? They're like, wear your dumb face mask, you idiot. And I was like, whoa. Which they had face masks in the front of the bus. So I went and grabbed a couple, handed them to him, and didn't say anything else. Just like, here you go. Because people were ready to take him out. I felt bad for the guy. A little mentally unwell as well, so that didn't help. But so I've learned local buses are free to travel, which is good, right? Especially if you Lyft everywhere and or Uber everywhere. So I had the plan to go ahead and get a rental car to get out to, I call her my goddaughter. She's my goddaughter for all intents and purposes. And so I rented what I thought was going to be a car, went to Enterprise, walked, took the bus, got there, and then showed up. And rightly so. They're like, well, your everything has to match up. Well, my credit card, or debit card rather, was expired. I had no idea. I'm like, when did B of A not send me the new card, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, I could go get a new card, go to B of A, I'll get it back. They go, no, it has to have your name on it. I'm like, but it's my card. It has like when you scan it, it'll have my name on it. No, it has to have your name on the front. I'm go, but when you scan it, it'll say my name. Like, you understand what I'm saying, Jesse? Like, it goes in on your records as me, right? Wouldn't it?
So they wouldn't take your card because it doesn't have your name engraved on it?
Yeah, exactly. So that was number one. Number two, so they're like, well, I'm like, okay, well, let me get my mom here because, she's got it in her name. But then I'm like, oh no. And then he goes, well, she has to be the primary driver. Well, she has to be the primary driver. She doesn't have her license. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I figured I would save the trip, right? But she has to go to the DMV because when I got the accident, it was right in the middle of me wanting to take her to the DMV, but now we have no vehicle to take her in the DMV. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So it's like one problem after another. So I'm like, how am I going to get out there? So I'm thinking, okay, I could take a transit, I could take a bus. Buses are kind of free, but that's a long ways. It's going to take me probably about 4 hours, 5 hours, unless I take the Greyhound somewhere or some way to get out there, right? So I call up, the family. They're all, stressing out because they're trying to make it, in time anyway for the afternoon graduation. Point being, I probably should have planned days in advance and gotten it, but I thought I could do it, and I thought I did it online, blah, 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 blah. So there's a note to self. So thank goodness for Lyft, which, again, it was a pretty penny to get out there. But, when somebody graduates, there's only one time. You can't miss it, right, Jesse? You just can't. So I got out there thanks to the Lyft driver, and Lyft driver really nice, really, really kind. And he said, oddly enough, there's a lot of money to be made on Lyft drivers because there's less Lyft drivers right now, but there's a lot of demand. Which I said to him, I said, it's funny you say that because I'm about to get a new vehicle and I want to do a lot of Lyft. And he says it's the best time to do it right now because, and kid you not, he and the person who brought me back showed me their paycheck, the amount that they were making. One was making, he was already for the week, I think he had a couple days more to go, $1,500. He was rolling in on his app, driving for Lyft, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So it's gone up. So if you've ever been a Lyft driver, now's the time to go back. They have incentives, and or Uber driver. I've done Lyft and Uber, but it never paid that much. So they said on average right now, it's easy to make maybe $150, $200 minimum. You run like a good, and some people are just going crazy, 12-hour days, 8-hour days. And one was actually the driver that picked me up to bring me back late at night. It was at 10:30 and got home at midnight. He lives in Victorville, of all places. How crazy is that, right, Jesse? But picked me up in Lake Elsinore because he, heads down, and then he just starts his day from where he's at. It takes him usually down, they call it the hill, or down the mountain, and then, he just keeps running it. And he is a former Greyhound retired driver. So he likes driving, and he loves the midnight shift, or night shift, right? Because that was his job for a long time. And really kind guy, really kind. So my point is this. If you're looking for a job and you have a vehicle to do it in, you might want to do it like that. And then there are apps. He shared with me this kind of cool thing, since we're talking about apps. There's an app that I somewhat started to download. And he says, so you can make additional money renting your vehicle out. And I'm like, wait, what does that mean, right? And the app is called Turo. So I looked it up, and I thought, because again, we're like, okay, do we get a new car? Do we get an old car? Do we get a used car? I don't want payments, right? It's all the first car. There's a lot of stress in that, right? There's a lot of stress just trying to figure out a new car. I mean, I test drive vehicles all the time, but it doesn't mean they go and hand me a new car forever, right? I don't have like a special deal with a dealership that says, here you go, here's a special deal, just keep promoting us. I don't have that right now. But here it is, Turo.com, the world's largest car sharing marketplace. So evidently, these are people, goodbye enterprise, hello world, that if you travel, you can browse people's vehicles and rent them from them. It's like the middleman. It's like the Lyft or the Uber, just getting from other people. And how much can you make if you have a vehicle like this? Quite a lot of money. Actually, I was looking at some of the numbers. So here's to book a car, right? Down the street or across the country, find the perfect vehicle for your next adventure, but become a host, right? Accelerate your entrepreneurship. So start building a small car sharing business with Turo. So what he told me was a lot of people are getting their Teslas doing this, and then they just rent them out. And I was like, are you kidding me? So check it out. Here's the average, Jesse. And they take care of the insurance. They take care of everything. It's kind of like the middleman. They make sure everything's taken care of, right, on your end and on their end. An average annual income of just one car, if you have a decent car, $10,516. Average annual income of 3 cars, $31,000. So on average, for one car, you can make an additional $10,000 on that, right? Insurance is included. Rest easy knowing you're covered up to $750,000 in liability insurance from Liberty Mutual, plus you choose from an array of protection plans. Safety and support 24/7. An easy-to-use app. Manage your business and your bookings on the go. So it's like an Airbnb, but for your vehicle. How cool is that, Jesse?
It's actually really cool. I like it, but then I also don't like it.
Okay, why don't you like it, though? Let's go through that.
Mainly because I worked at a video store, and it's always the fear of, people renting stuff and then returning not clean, or they just take advantage of it.
I get that.
But I'm assuming these cars, they'll probably be like a deposit and whatnot.
Yeah, it has all that. I mean, it has good insurance providers, right? And that's always the thing to think about. But I will say, and I remember talking to Airbnb people, and a lot of people got their rent paid doing Airbnb, right? It takes a little bit of extra care and keeping, but some people kept their homes and made money by just renting them out, by the day. So, however, if you're like cash strapped, right? Or your car's just sitting there, which one person, the Lyft driver that picked me up, he says he was leasing the car from his brother, meaning his brother was doing stuff at home. He wasn't working out anymore. And he's like, look, I got extra miles on here. You could totally use them. He's like, use them for your things. So just pay me a certain amount. So that's like peer to peer, right? Brother to brother. Like, sure, okay, I'll pay you for this, and then I'll drive Lyft, and then boom, because you just need the app and an approved vehicle. You have to go get it approved. He does both Lyft and Uber, and flexible time, flexible ways to do it. But but that's a good point, Jesse. So I'm going to look up on this some questions. But look at this. You can rent. Okay, on the opposite end, if I wanted to rent a Tesla, let's see how much I would have to rent it for. Tesla Model S, $194 a day. Okay, that makes sense. That's a lot. Sleek simplicity. Test drive a Tesla on Turo. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay. Book a Tesla nearby. They're in Arizona, California. Ooh, all over California. Colorado. District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii. Oh, look, so it's Florida. You could get it where you're going, right? But maybe you don't want to get that. Maybe you want to get a Ferrari for the day, right? So you can rent it that way. But again, evidently people are making money at this. And as the word gets out, I think more and more will get money on it. So, because we've talked about Turo way back in the day, I want to say like a year and a half ago, and evidently it's taken up. So, a lot of people are just, they don't want to own a car, but you can earn big, host well, and just list your car. I mean, it's something's better than nothing, I think, if it's just sitting there, right? And then, of course, since they have insurance and such, if there's a situation that you don't want, I think there's ways. The good thing is, just like Enterprise, this is why they make their money back and then some. Those vehicles they end up selling once they get so many miles. So then that's why Enterprise has a dealership program as well. So it's it's worth looking up if you've got a car just sitting there. So you could do that, and then or even if you have an older car, you want to do that. So, but they got all kinds of stuff. Let's see, 60 plans, splurge on top-tier protection with the full suite of extra benefits. Let's see, it includes 60% of the trip price. 70 plan is a spring for solid coverage with a minimal deductible. 75 plan, pocket more with a moderate deductible. 80 plan, earn big by taking on a larger deductible. Then 85 plan, cashing in on the highest risk, highest reward plan, which means kind of like what you're saying. So I think the one that you want is the one with the most protection, and then you at least make something from it, right? So I think the insurance kind of takes care of the majority of the rest, right? So worst case scenario, it gets totaled. You got a new vehicle because you got 24/7, right?
Ooh,
right?
I like that.
Oh, see, now you're like, wait a minute. So I don't know how it works. I mean, maybe that's, but I mean, that would be how it would work, right? Wrong? I think so.
Well, because this is like, you never really know how anybody treats anything, especially if it's your baby.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm not going to view it as my baby. I'm just going to view it as a income opportunity. That's what I'm going to do. So, and then you put it on there only for the days that you're not going to use it. So if like you're traveling away, you just set it up. I don't know how the lockbox works and all that, but you know what? Maybe we should have them on, and then we'll talk about it later. But there you go. Anyway, some cool, great ideas to think outside the box of new apps that are doing. And he told me like Grubhub is making a killing, Postmates is making a killing. So there's less drivers for Lyft, which means more income opportunity for Lyft drivers and our Uber drivers. So kind of important, right? Make your money now while you can. And he was like, yeah, I'm making $2,500 a week, Jesse, just driving Lyft. That's unheard of. And then the minimum, I think, was $1,800. So it started like 3 months ago. They had incentive programs, and then they get pay bonuses on that. So you do so many rides, you get so much money. So, anyway, okay. Speaking of which, we got to take a quick break here on the morning show. When we get back, Janine Tornatore coming up around the corner with her tips on saving for travel, coming up right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just go to 12ignoremyscore.com right now. That's www.12ignoremyscore.com. Auto financing the easy way. 12ignoremyscore.com. Get started today. Auto financing the easy way.
KMET presents the 2-hour Heart to Heart radio show every Thursday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. Heart to Heart grapples with personal issues of addiction recovery, sex therapy, relationships, and traumas. With over 60 years of combined counseling experience, Dr. Mitra and me, Dr. Robert, discuss lifestyle and treatments to help you cope and achieve the inner peace we all desire. The 2-hour Heart to Heart radio show is here for you every Thursday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. Join us.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And Jesse, I know you'll appreciate this story. U.S. intelligence agencies will present to Congress a highly, get this, anticipated unclassified report about what they know about UFOs, or as the Pentagon now calls them, which I don't know why they do this. I think this is to confuse everybody. Unexplained aerial phenomena. Just call it what it is.
True, but not all of them are UFOs.
Explain.
Well, they could be unknown
aerial phenomena.
No, well, yeah, it could be. You just never know. It could be a secret military plane. We don't know.
Okay, see, you're buying into the. This is why they do this. But it's on here, ABC News. The jury is still out on whether the report will contain the answers that UFO enthusiasts are looking for, that recent military encounters with UAPs may be proof of contact with extraterrestrial life. The preparation of the report marks a milestone as interest in UFOs has taken off in recent years. I guarantee nobody's going to refer to it as UAPs anymore, except the ones that are trying to rebrand it. Right? You're going to be like, did you see a UFO? Yeah, you mean a UAP. No, it's a UFO. I see it. It's an unidentified flying object. It's a UAP. You know what? Just look up. Do you see it? No, it's gone. All right, well, then it's a UAP. It's a phenomena. You know what a phenomena means, Jesse?
What? What does it mean?
Look in the sky. There's a cloud. It's a phenomena. You get it? Like, it's such dumbing down of what it is. Now, if they said unidentified, unexplained. In other words, there's no way to explain it. So what happens when you do explain it? Do you change it to a UFO?
Good question. I know the UFO talk actually hit the news I think last week with the USS Omaha.
Yeah. It's been all over CNN. I mean, it's like next level. Even my mom is like, "Oh, this stuff makes sense." I'm like, I've been talking about this stuff to you, and now she actually makes sense of it. I'm like, okay, this is good. Because we're not the only smart species around, right? Although people go, but I always say we're not dead, so they got to be here for good things, right? Not bad things. The videos raised interest not only with UFO enthusiasts, but also among members of Congress, eager to learn if the UAPs captured in the videos represent advanced technological threats from foreign adversaries. That's what they're calling it. So now they're calling them adversaries. Well, you're not dead, are you? I mean, come on. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, succeeded in including language in the Intelligence Authorization Act late in 2020 that required the intelligence community to prepare for the committee a detailed unclassified report on UAPs. A spokesperson for Rubio said that the report is due to be submitted to Congress June 29th, which is the date that marks the 180-day deadline required by the legislation when it went into effect on January 1st. Now, he said this in a statement. Men and women we have entrusted with the defense of our country are reporting encounters with unidentified aircraft with superior capabilities. Just call it what it is, right? And when they say superior capabilities, they mean like superior. Even Russia's like, how do we get our hands on that? We cannot allow the stigma of UFOs to keep us from seriously investigating this. What do you mean stigma? Everybody goes, they exist. Right, Jesse? We all, right? I don't know about you. Seen a couple, whatever. Doesn't make sense.
The, like, weird lights and stuff?
Well, sometimes I go, that's a drone, right? That's my first thing now. I go, that's a drone. That's probably a drone.
No, the only thing I've seen is like satellites in the sky and stuff. Other than that, not really.
Okay. The forthcoming report is one step in that process, but it will not be the last. The report is being prepared by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the UAP Task Force, an organization stood up by the Pentagon last September to look at the U.S. military's encounters with UAP. So there you go. Lots of information. We're going to take another break. When we get back, Janine Turner-Tor is going to switch gears up for summer travel coming up right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with the mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness, 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor. The United Breast Cancer Foundation saved her life. Their free breast cancer exam caught the cancer early, and that saved her life. But now the foundation needs your help so they can continue offering free or low-cost breast screening exams, saving more women's lives. Help them by donating your car, whether it's running or not. They'll provide fast, free 24-hour pickup, and you receive a charitable tax deduction, plus the great feeling you'll get knowing your donated car is going to help save more lives. Just call 800-781-0965 to set the wheels in motion. They take cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, running or not. Call 800-781-0965. The United Breast Cancer Foundation needs your help, and your donation could literally save women's lives, helping them catch breast cancer early, like they did with my mom. Donate today. 800-781-0965. That's 800-781-0965.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, we appreciate you joining us. Rosalie says, seriously, renting a car nowadays is such a hassle. Sorry you went through all of that, but everything happens for a reason. See, you met that Lyft driver and got some cool information. I did. Met some really cool Lyft drivers and live to tell the tale. Speaking of living to tell the tale, saving on summer travel is kind of important. Insider tips to avoid rising prices is here for us. Joining us right now is Janine Turner-Tor from her blog, theoutsideinsider.com. Janine, you there with us?
To be here.
Janine, okay, so glad to have you back. I know I always learn something when you're here with us. Jesse's literally leaving this evening on a plane to Florida. Anything he can apply really quick, really fast on his travel?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, he's going to Florida along with everyone else in the country. Florida's going to be one of those busy destinations. What I would tell him is that, look, whatever you want to do while you're there, is it a theme park, attractions, restaurant reservations even, do it now. This isn't the time to wait and be spontaneous and figure out those on-the-ground plans as you go, because things are requiring reservations, and even things like restaurants are booking up so fast right now.
Good point. Good point. He's going for a wedding, so I'm not sure how much time, but he wants to see a crocodile. Any tips on that?
I think he will not have a problem with that in Florida. That's one of those things that's pretty much anywhere you turn around, you can see an alligator or crocodile. But look, like for a lot of people that are still making their plans and kind of figuring out how they can save this summer, one of my biggest tips is really, while everybody is going to Florida and is going to Mexico, think like a travel contrarian. You want to go, if you want to save, where everyone's not going. So looking at destinations like, out your back door, you have Scottsdale, Arizona. Summer is their off season. And yeah, it's just a little bit hot right now there. But, they have the incentives to go along with that. So they have their It's That Hot promotion right now where you can save 60% on some of these amazing resorts right here in the heart of town. So, these destinations in their off season, if you're willing to kind of deal with the heat a little bit, that's where you're going to really save this summer if you haven't decided on a destination yet.
How do we get that? Do we just Google it, or we go to your website? How do we get there?
Yeah, sure. Well, if you want to head to Scottsdale and you want to get that promotion, their website is actually itsthathot.com. So you can check that out. But, and then I would say, too, for anybody that's, maybe you want to go to, one of the popular hot spots, airfare is always kind of, I think, the biggest, cost contender for people when they're traveling. And the biggest question I get always is like, how do I save on my airfare? This year, one of the keys is really being flexible, but because business travelers aren't out there, in full force yet, they're usually kind of driving up the fares during the week. That's not happening this year. So instead of heading out on a Friday or Saturday, you want to head out on a Tuesday or Wednesday, because that's when we're seeing some better fares because they're not being taken up by business travelers right now.
Got it. I'm glad you said that, because sometimes, look, when it comes to like travel, I don't like the planning stage. I used to have people to kind of help me do that. Now that I have to plan it, I have to figure out like how I'm going to get from point A to point B. I think we've become less fun and less exciting. Like it used to be back in the day. You used to be like, friends, can you help me? They're like, just let me give you money and you could drive using a Lyft. I'm like. Do you remember the days I used to take you to the airport by myself? But even with that, what else can you do? Like, if you're a lone traveler like myself.
Well, look, I think you're not alone. I think there's almost so much information out there that it gives people anxiety if you're kind of doing it yourself, right? It's like a luxury to be able to go to a travel agent, a travel advisor, and have someone do it all for you. But if you're doing it on your own, you kind of where the heck do I start?
Right.
So many sites out there. Look, first I would say a couple of things if you're thinking about this summer. Number one, if you had a trip last year, like a lot of us did, that you had to cancel, you might have those credits sitting out there in those accounts. But the first place that you should go is say, ooh, I have those travel credits, and when do those expire? Look, even if they don't expire till next December, if you're traveling this summer, use them, because what the airlines and a lot of these travel suppliers count on is the fact that you're going to forget by then that they're sitting in there and they're going to expire. So use your travel credits if you're going to travel. A lot of people also have a lot of miles sitting in their accounts, those travel rewards that they didn't use in the last year. Those actually devalue over time. So while summer is a high season and sometimes you don't get as much bang for your buck using your miles, you might want to consider using some of them now. They might not be worth as much 6 months from now as they are now. So use your miles. And then, there's a lot of resources out there. One of the sites that I really like is called fairness.com. It's fair, like airfare, FARENESS.com. For airfares, you can plug in your origin, so say Los Angeles, and then whatever your destination is, and they will show you an entire month's worth. You can look at June, July, August, and see what the cheapest days are and weeks are for airfare. So you can really get a big, broader picture of when should I actually travel. So there are sites out like that can be helpful in the early stages of the planning process for folks like you that really hate that part of it, like a lot of us do.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. You have to download it, browse and book the lowest price dates and places, and access exclusive access to deals. What other apps can I use? Because so recently I've never driven. I've driven for Lyft. I've never been driven by a Lyft driver, and boy, was that a good experience for me. But in the process, I'm like, I was asking them what kind of apps do I download. So I always say, number one, make sure you take a phone that has plenty of battery, and make sure you have a backup always ready to go for battery power supply, because God forbid you're on the road. Lately, I've been driving carless. Well, I don't have a car because mine got totaled in an accident. So I feel like the traveler every day. So, but that's what travelers go through, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just experienced that where, you're out, you're doing all of these fun things on your vacation, and you realize, like, you need to take a lift home. And, I mean, you don't have enough battery left in your phone, whatever it may be. But I think, there's so many apps out there when it comes to, to traveling. Some of the ones that I really like are ones that kind of are your travel guide. So I think, sometimes you get to a destination and you're like, oh, like, you kind of know the obvious things to do, but there's some great travel apps out there. The one that I really like is called Gypsy Guides, where, you can get these self-guided tours. So if you're driving around on your own, they actually kind of use GPS, and it's almost like if you were on a guided tour, and it takes you around and it points out all the points of interest as you're pulling up to them because it's using your GPS. So things like that can be a really cool experience and kind of elevate people's vacations. As opposed to completely going it on your own.
I'm writing these down as we speak. Okay, so and then just to save additional pocket change, or because it all adds up when you're traveling, right? Is there any other last minute tips?
Yeah, a couple other things I would say is, like, again, for flights and hotels, use Google Travel. I mean, Google is, collecting data around the world anyway. We may as well use it to our advantage. But you can go to Google Travel and you can see flight prices, like, that will give you the flight prices for all the different airlines and online travel companies, so that you can really get a broad look at, like, where actually you should go to book to get the best flight price, but having to go to each site individually. And then when it comes to car rentals, everyone's heard the news about car rentals being exponentially more expensive this summer.
Yes.
It's crazy, right?
Yes. So, I just had to try to get one yesterday. It was going to cost me a lot of money. Yeah. Talk about it, please.
Yeah. Shop around, obviously, but there are a couple sites I would send people to. Well, number one, if you're a member of one of those membership clubs like Costco, they actually have some pretty great discounts when it comes to travel on their site. And you're already paying for a membership for, like that Costco, Sam's Club. Use them for travel as well. Please look at them and see if you can compare some good prices. There's another site I would point you to for car rentals called Auto Slash. And this site, you go in, you plug some information in about, what type of different travel rewards programs you have, things like that. It will actually tell you, like, what coupons are out there that you can use for car rentals. And it will also, if you make a car rental booking, it will track that. And if the price of your car rental goes down, it will notify you. So you can actually go on and kind of rebook that car rental and get the cheaper price. So lots of sites out there that do different things like this. It's just a matter of kind of knowing which ones tap into when you're looking for things like airline tickets and car rentals.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I talked to the Lyft driver. He knows about the auto industry, and he's like, well, they're higher because they laid off so many people, and then they had to get new vehicles, so now they have newer vehicles, so they're charging more because the demand isn't as up, so everything is like double the price. So I'm like, oh. So there you go. Anyway, there's a tip. But Janine, thank you so much for the tips. I'm going to go ahead and stalk you over there at theoutsideinsider.com. Get all of your great stuff there. Thank you for spending time with us here on The Morning Show.
Of course, my pleasure.
All right, Janine Tornatore, always kicking it each and every way she can with her family as well. So she knows what it's like to travel with the family and, of course, do so in a really fun way. And I can tell you right now, that's the type of way to do it with the family if you can. And if you're single and you're just traveling on your own, trying to take a fun person that actually makes sense of everything for you and then start sharing each other. I think this show has been pretty Jesse, did you download any of those apps?
I'm looking at the Toro one and stuff. I actually do have a news story to talk about, but I can actually talk about it next Monday.
No, talk about it now. You may love Florida and never come back.
That is true. Well, no, because if you Google Frontier bundles, play video games with friends, they're actually doing a little contest right now where you can play a shared gaming experience with your friend for 21 hours. Where if you can do it and you're picked, you get $2,000 and you get a bunch of gaming stuff like a Switch and whatnot. Oh, so if you see it, there's they even give you like snacks and stuff. So it's actually really cool.
Wait, are you trying to do this and then win it and then you would tell us? That's terrible, Jesse.
Well, you got 20 days to enter.
It says you play, we pay $2,000. We'll pay a shared $2,000 to you. It's Frontier, right? Frontier. We'll pay a shared $2,000 to you and your best gaming buddy to play 21 hours of video games. Jesse,
we need to do this. We need to enter.
Let's enter, man. Here's why Frontier bundles that celebrate gaming in 2021. I don't care, but there you go. Oh, turning 40, Donkey Kong, turning 35, The Legend of Zelda. Oh, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. Halo, turning 20. Wow, who knew it's been that long? All right, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. So we got to get ready when you come back to do this, right?
Yeah. So we'll enter when I come back because you got a lot of information.
I don't have all this Switch. I don't have Switch though, man.
They give you it. They give you a Switch.
Give it to you. I don't have Frontier. Okay, time to get it. All right, Jesse. Make it a great day, whatever you do. We'll see you Monday, Jesse. Tomorrow, Sean Nickerson will be joining me in the wings over there. Wish Jesse a very safe travel, and if you're in the area, make sure he's safe. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.